Welcome back, YouTubers, to another TNA Impact Wrestling review of us, the British Fist.
Good, James.
Equally enigmatic there. This guy sitting next to me is the one and only NJ.
What up?
I know I did NJ first, but I'm going to do Mr. Parkin now, and NJ again, because we all want to hear what's up.
What's up?
Indeed. Make sure you guys subscribe up above, like this video, and comment your thoughts on TNA Impact Wrestling down in the comment section below.
Make sure you contact us. The link in the box below.
So, the episode of Impact Wrestling after Turning Point. This whole episode was pretty much about who attacked James Storm in the week before the pay-per-view, wasn't it? We wonder, who could it be? But we'll go on with the show. We open up with Bobby Roode. You know, this makes sense as he did win at the pay-per-view. He talks about being the star of fortune and how, you know, he's now the one-heavyweight champion. Blah, 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 blah. Until out comes James Storm.
But he was going on to talk about how he wipes the souls of the fit, how he's the leader of it all. But obviously the other members of their faction had something to say, and James Storm was one of them.
Yeah, James Storm comes out, he walks down, but security try and stop him. They love using security, TNA, don't they?
Quite a bit.
Roode says that it wasn't him that jumped him last week, but Storm was going to try and find out. So we got that whole storyline there, and then we got our little segment where we had AJ Styles attacking Roode, and you kind of get this feeling they're going to have another pay-per-view match again. It's just a shame this advert. It's just a shame this segment got separated with an advert, wasn't it? I mean, we've seen all those Immortal promos lasting 20 minutes, and they can't even get 8 minutes of segment time before an advert. It's kind of stupid, really, isn't it?
Well, with this segment, the way it was flowing, they really did not need that advert there. But whatever, TNA.
Basically, what we got here, we got some stuff between AJ and Roode. Talking about how, you know, he's turned and screwed fortune. Some good mic work there by AJ. And Sting comes out and says it's going to be AJ Styles versus Robert Roode in a 30-minute Iron Man match at Final Resolution. Wow! A pay-per-view match announced well in time for TNA. Well done. I did like the fact they announced a match and actually given that feud some time to develop a little bit.
And what a match it is. At the moment, you would think that as James Storm was getting involved with all this, you thought it would be James Storm versus Robert Roode. But this whole AJ Robert Roode, I like it how it's continuing. Yeah,
it's definitely good how it's continuing. It's also holding off a little bit more from that Bobby Roode James Storm pay-per-view match, which we expect to happen at some point. So it was a good segment, and it established our main event feud, our main event match of the pay-per-view. There was a lot going on in this feud. There was a lot going on in this, and with that advert there, it was a bit stupid as well. But after the segment, Bobby Roode beat on AJ. There was a bit of involvement there with Dixie Carter getting involved, which is a little bit weird. But at least it's establishing Roode's heel character, which really needs to be stamped home right now.
And the way they've done this, I think it was a good opener, good amount of time, did the right thing, got the whole main event made, or match made to the pay-per-view, a good continuous between AJ and Bobby Roode, so I liked it.
Yeah, indeed. Do you want to get your breath?
Yeah, there
we then have a little segment backstage with Bobby Roode and Sting. They confront, Roode talks about suing Sting if he puts his hands on him. Sting was talking to him because of the whole attack on Dixie Carter thing. That was a bit interesting, but it's a backstage segment, so We then get Robbie E versus Devon in Robbie E's first defense of the TV title. What the fuck was going on here, NJ? We had Devon's kids and Pope at ringside. We had Rob Terry attacking Pope, Eric Young attacking Rob Terry, Devon getting distracted by his kids to get pinned by Robbie E, and it's just like, what the fuck is going on with this segment?
My big thought about this is I thought that Devon is something that's over, but the fact they brought it back just to make Devon lose to Robert E, it was just stupid.
We don't want no more of that. We don't really want too much of Robert E as champion, but he retains. Yeah, just too much going on in the segment. My God, it was ridiculous. We had another backstage segment where a tag team title match was made between Mexican America and Morgan and Crimson, so that's a match made for tonight. There was also some more Garrett Bischoff stuff there too, but we'll go on to that when we get to the segment. We also had Sting, Bischoff, and Flair again. A lot of backstage segments there with that Garrett Bischoff thing, isn't there?
I was talking in the past that too much TV segments, backstage segments, should say, is a bit too much for the show.
Yeah, but at least we got a match announced, a tag team title match, which we'll go on to in a minute. We then get X Division tag team action. Kid Cash and Austin Aries versus Kendrick and Jesse Sorensen. X Division tag team match, 5 minutes. We kind of see a little bit of tease between Austin Aries and Kid Cash. Maybe they're going to have a match at the pay-per-view, we don't really know yet, but there was a little bit of tension between those two.
I think the way this went, you could see that Austin Aries wants nothing to do with Kid Cash, just wants him to get on with it and use him in other ways. But they're teased, like you said, a match between those two, which it would be heel versus heel, but again, it could be a good match to do Austin Aries in.
It could be a good attempt for TNA if they want to turn Austin Aries face. I mean, a lot of people have been cheering him, and a lot of people do like him. So maybe they're going to use this time to turn him face. Who really knows? I prefer him as a heel champion, but there you go. The match itself, it got a good 5 minutes. A good 5-minute match for an X Division is always good on my book. Austin Aries walks out and Kid Cash, allowing Jesse Sorensen to get the win. So it's kind of teased something there while also being a decent match. So I think this was an effective segment.
Well, the other part I found effective is that Jesse Sorensen is still growing in TNA. So I think for him to win over Kid Cash, no matter how he does it, is still a push for him as well.
Definitely so. After that, we got our 10 knockout gauntlet match. Before we go into this, NJ, what did you think of this whole 10 knockout gauntlet match thing for the #1 contendership? What were your opinions on this?
Well,
doing this?
The amount of knockouts they have, it's good that they get them involved somehow. And the best way to get them involved, instead of having a big tag team, they had this gauntlet match. I just thought it was a good way of getting them all involved.
Yeah, it was a good way of getting them all involved. I did have a couple of issues, though. The fact that there were a lot of knockouts in there, and a lot of knockouts there which you'd consider contenders, like Terror and all people like that. And it's kind of like, Mickey James went through 8 knockouts to win this, and it's kind of like, I thought they could have done it in a way that they could have got more time to feature the knockouts, like maybe a 4-way #1 contendership or something. I'm not saying I didn't like this. I actually did enjoy this. It's nice that they're establishing a #1 contender right now, and they're featuring all their knockouts, and it got a lot of time. So I'll give it that.
The thing I liked is that we had Velvet Sky opening, and she went through the knockouts that weren't really going to get anywhere, and then it came across as
Mickey James and Angelina Love, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was good, knocking her out and then going on, because the right people knockout won. I thought this was good, effective match.
Yeah, ODB came out as well. I think that was a bit strange. We haven't seen her on TV for a while, but I'm looking forward to a Gail Kim Mickey James feud. We know they're both very good wrestlers in the ring. That's probably the best women's feud they could do right now, and it's nice that they're establishing this straight away, like getting the 2 best knockouts in the ring probably together for a feud.
I think when TNA think of their draw for the knockouts, they do think of Mickey James. So having her against our new knockout champion is a good match.
Yeah, and Madison Rayne got fucking embarrassed. So fuck you, Madison Rayne, you talentless bitch. But there we go. That was the knockouts gauntlet match. A good effective segment. Hypes for the pay-per-view. It gets the knockouts on TV. Even if they're not on TV for very long, it's still established #1 contender, and I'm happy with that.
So I'll say for a while now, this is one knockout segment I actually enjoyed.
Yeah, definitely. I love a lot more than any Divas segment we've seen in the last 2 months. We then get a Hardy and Jarrett segment, and bloody hell. Basically, Jeff Hardy comes out and talks about setting his sights on the world title, and then Karen Jarrett comes out and pretty much dominates the mic for about 5 minutes, and I was kind of like, shut the fuck up.
Have I embarrassed you yet? Have I embarrassed you yet? Have I embarrassed you?
I'm trying to... Oh, she was really mad, and she was just dominating the mic for fucking ages, and it's like, shut the fuck up, really? It was so bad. Then basically Jeff Jarrett comes down and tries to attack Jeff Hardy, but just like the pay-per-view, he failed miserably, and I'm just like, is this continuing? I thought this was going to finish. Let Jeff Hardy on his road to redemption, and it looks like this whole thing is continuing. I really hope it doesn't.
Well, the way I saw it, from the pay-per-view, obviously Jarrett got embarrassed to do that, so I think no guy would accept that. So I think this is just his getting his comeback, and maybe they're going to push on for one more match, but who knows?
He got embarrassed to fuck, that boy did. But yeah, I think the segment could have been a little bit shorter. Less time for Karen Jarrett on the fucking mic.
That was a bit long. It was a bit like, even though it's not really her and Jeff Hardy who's got that little thing, it's Jeff Jarrett, so I don't know why Jeff Jarrett didn't come out first, but whatever.
Who knows? The segment was okay, I guess. We then get the tag team title match between Crimson Morgan and Mexican America, and this match went 5.5 minutes, and I could say this could happen at a pay-per-view. This match could have gone longer, but I just don't give a fuck anymore. The fucking belts are off Mexican America, and I think Crimson and Morgan will make a good tag team. And you can tease the whole split thing over the next couple of months. We're also introducing another temporary tag team in that sort of tag team division, which is very defunct at the moment.
Well, the way I see it, it's good that they're doing it now. It's not a pay-per-view. Yes, it's a pay-per-view worthy match, but the fact they have many ideas for Crimson and Morgan, maybe they want to start it now. So I say this match, very effective. Show your dominance of Matt Morgan more than Crimson in some areas. But it's overall a really good match. Yeah,
definitely so. It just gives TNA another tag team, really, doesn't it? And I think if those two guys could believably be tag team champions, as they kind of like friends, but kind of not friends, but they're also good enough to beat a team like Mexican America. So I'm pretty happy with that. Basically, this is Crimson's first title win, so I'm quite happy. It's like it's starting off slow, it's starting off low, and now they can develop the feud between the two over the time and make them split up and stuff. So I think that'll be a nice way to start it off. To be honest with you,
it shows that they're an effective team that could possibly go on and continue feuding. So I say it's very effective.
The main thing is Mexican America aren't tag team champions anymore. Booyah! We got way too much Garrett Bischoff stuff tonight. I just can't believe that. I can understand why wanting to push your son and everything, but my God, he's got so much TV time devoted to him. It's almost like a Jeff Jarrett. He gets to work with Flair, Sting, Gunner. I'm like, wow. And then they had a match.
Yeah, the match. Again, in the past, well, a few weeks ago, I really thought Gunner was actually going to go somewhere because he's one, an immortal, and two, maybe there's a chance that he could go face, but whatever. They ruined that. This is even ruined him even more because they had Garrett beat him.
I think Garrett Bischoff got more TV time this week than Bobby Roode. It's kind of annoying. This is the match itself wasn't even that bad. You had Gunner carrying it. He was basically dominating Garrett Bischoff, and then Garrett Bischoff wins with the DDT. And it's like, is this the payoff for all this? All this you've been building up for? It's just so stupid. Why even bother? You know, I can understand giving your son a push, but all that TV time and this is just, I don't give a shit, and I'm just not getting it.
Because the question is now he's beat Gunner, what are they going to do next?
Exactly, yeah. Maybe make him have a match with his dad or something? I don't know. I don't know. Let's move on to the main event, eh?
The main event.
Yeah. Before this main event, we got lots of little backstage segments. This is basically all geared towards this main event. We had Bully Ray, Anderson, Samoa Joe basically telling Storm that they didn't attack him. It was a nice way to sort of build up to this main event, as it's kind of, this whole storyline is kind of interesting. Who did attack James Storm?
Because the backstage segments, they were affecting so way. We have like Samoa Joe attacking him. That was interesting because it gives Samoa Joe TV time. We had Bully Ray. Oh, I love him on mic. So having him there.
He was bullying a geek girl. That was so funny. That was hilarious.
Very effective backstage segments.
Anderson, if I was going to do it, I'll do it to your face. Oh, that was so funny, you asshole.
It all adds up to this.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, James Storm comes out, he talks a little bit about himself, and he calls out AJ Styles. Now I'm thinking, why would he call out AJ Styles? But obviously, he thinks that AJ Styles benefited from that attack because of his 2 title shots, and he thinks that it might have been him.
But then AJ also sticks up for him saying, why would I do this when I have a problem with Bobby Roode myself?
Exactly.
So it took him out of the conclusion.
Yeah, and Kaz comes out and it kind of splits that up. It was, you know, and then we get the interesting part of the segment when Angle comes out and attacks James Storm from behind and says it was him that attacked James Storm. And after, I'm guessing that's due to the title win, I've just have to bounce away. But I like this. This was good shit. 2
hours under the ring. God, it must have been boring into there.
Oh, definitely. But I kept thinking throughout this segment, this is a pay-per-view match I'd really like to see. And let's hope they do this pay-per-view match. And this is why I found this segment really interesting. I want to see these 2 face off at a pay-per-view. AJ and Roode, Storm and Angle. 2 great main event matches there.
That's very true. Now Storm's not in his beer money group.
Yeah.
Angle would be a good person to push him to a more of a single wrestler match. So I look forward to seeing these 2 probably face each other pay-per-view.
Yep. So we found out who attacked James Storm. It was Angle. We had a little bit there between AJ and Storm. Really, it's interesting where they're going to be going with this whole thing now. I mean, obviously AJ and Roode are going to have their feud. Storm and Angle are going to have their feud. It seems like Fortune and Immortal are kind of like breaking up now, and it's like the end of the factions all of a sudden.
Well, the thing is, with these patches, they're holding people back, I think. So have them all broken up, go whatever you want, can make matches a lot more interesting.
Definitely so. So what were your overall thoughts on TNA this week, MJ?
Well, we read the spoilers, and when we read it, we thought, wow, this is going to be a great show. And we weren't let down, apart from the backstage segments. Some of them were pretty pointless, but overall, we got matches made for the pay-per-view, hype of some rivalries going on, so very effective TNA.
Yeah, and that is the one problem with TNA is they don't hype their pay-per-views up very much. Especially we saw that at Turning Point, but this here they were dead on with their pay-per-view hype. They got the main event announced. They got AJ Bobby Roode. They've also got Angle Storm, which will be an interesting feud. They've got the X Division feud kind of going. They've got a number 1 contendership for their Knockouts title going. I'm really interested in looking forward to that feud between Mickie James and Gail Kim. There was some pointless stuff in here, like the Robbie E stuff, which was overbooked to fuck. The Garrett Bischoff stuff I'm not really caring about. The Jeff Jarrett Hardy thing, I don't really like that continuing, although I do feel that they could do a lot with that feud. But overall, and Crimson and Morgan won the tag titles as well. That was pretty awesome.
Gotcha.
Exactly. So for me, it was a decent show. I'm not sure how I'm going to grade it, though. There was some stuff in there I didn't like, but there was some stuff in there I did like. I would be interested to see how you'd grade this before I do mine.
A grade could be a C+ towards B+.
B-, C+, you mean?
Yeah, that's the way.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. B+, C-. There was a lot of good stuff. It's interesting to see now. It seems like TNA do have a long-term direction for their product now, sort of, maybe. It looks like Pritchard's influence is finally taking over fucking Vince Russo now. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm interested to see what happens next week now.
Same here.
Yeah, there's a lot of feuds developing that I think could be really interesting.
And the show's done really good, I think.
Yeah, so there we go. You'd heard it from NJ himself. The show was good.
What's up?
Get your comments on this edition of TNA Impact Wrestling down in the comment section below. That's really been it from us. NJ, do you want to take it away?
Thank you very much, Dan. And this has been another review from the British Fist, which is Mr. Parkin and me, NJ. Thank you for watching another video from us, and goodbye.